It's the state's largest public welfare scandal, and today a witness testified how she steered millions of your tax dollars to Ted DiBiase Jr. The former pro wrestler is charged with money laundering, theft, wire fraud, and conspiracy. 3 Interside's Quentin Smith was inside the courtroom for day 12 of this trial. He tells us how one witness says she grew tired of giving DiBiase the contracts.
I regret it. Those are the words Christy Webb told the court when she testified about the millions of dollars she paid to Ted DiBiase Jr. Those payments were made in 2017 and in 2018. Webb has already pleaded guilty in this welfare scandal for her involvement. In court, it was revealed that DiBiase's biggest payday came in 2018. He received 2 checks for $250,000 apiece from the Family Resource Center of North Mississippi, which was operated by Webb. He also received a monthly stipend check of $20,000 from the organization. Along with those payments, DiBiase was given a check for $500,000 from the Mississippi Community Education Center, which was operated by Nancy New. Altogether, the former pro wrestler received more than $1 million in just one day. Webb testified she was pressured by John Davis, who was the former head of the Department of Human Services. After about a year, Webb says she realized DiBiase was not doing any of the work required in the contracts. As a result, she stopped giving him money. Webb testified that Davis retaliated by no longer funding her organization. At their height, she told the court her nonprofit was receiving roughly $20 million a year from MDHS. Davis slashed the funding by more than $6 million, according to Webb. However, the defense continues to argue DiBiase did not steal any money. According to the defense, the contracts never required DiBiase to turn in reports detailing how the money was spent. They also maintain the former pro wrestler performed legitimate services with each contract he was given. Webb will continue giving her testimony detailing what happened when court resumes Monday morning. Reporting outside the federal courthouse, I'm Quentin Smith.